You expect evil to come with fire and blood, with shouts, sirens, and weapons drawn. But what if the real danger comes quietly through a smile, a shrug, a simple, "I'm just doing my job"? Dietrich Bonhoeffer saw this with horrifying clarity. As Nazi Germany rose around him, he identified a threat even more terrifying than hatred. Not cruelty, not malice, but stupidity. Yes, stupidity, not as in low intelligence, but something far darker. A surrender of the mind, a refusal to question, a blindness that spreads, not through ignorance, but through comfort and fear. Bonhoeffer wrote, "Stupidity is a more dangerous enemy of the good than malice. Because malice can be confronted, it reveals itself. It burns hot, then consumes. But stupidity hides, it obeys, it doesn't argue, it repeats, it blends in." The stupid person, in Bonhoeffer's sense, is not merely uninformed, they are spiritually numb. Their conscience has been outsourced. Their thinking has been shut off. And here's the most frightening part. This kind of stupidity doesn't live on the fringes. It lives next door. At the dinner table, in the office, in you, in me. It's what allows atrocities to unfold in daylight, while good people look away. This isn't a story from the past. It's a mirror held up to the present, because today, just like then, silence is safer than truth. Compliance is rewarded. And stupidity, once again, is wearing a smile. So the question isn't, are there evil people among us? The question is, how many of us have stopped thinking and didn't even notice? It starts subtly. You're tired. The world is loud. You scroll, you click, you consume, and bit by bit, your thoughts stop being your own. That's how stupidity grows, not in darkness, but in distraction. Bonhoeffer saw this during the rise of fascism. He noticed something chilling. The most dangerous people weren't the obvious villains. They were the quiet followers, the educated, the disciplined, the polite. They stopped asking questions. They obeyed because it was easier. They traded truth for certainty and called it loyalty. Stupidity, Bonhoeffer said, isn't an intellectual defect. It's a moral failure, a decision to stop thinking for yourself and to start functioning as part of a machine. This kind of stupidity thrives in groups, not in solitude. In meetings, in slogans, in mobs and online echo chambers. It's the kind of stupidity that asks not, "Is this true?" but "Will I get punished if I disagree?" It's not about IQ. It's about surrender. Today, we are surrounded by information, yet drowning in noise. Algorithms decide what we see. Popularity replaces wisdom, and many have stopped thinking not because they're weak, but because they're overwhelmed. This is how systems of control evolve. Not with iron fists, but with mental fog. With endless entertainment. Manufactured outrage. Manufactured comfort. And before we know it, stupidity isn't a glitch, it's a feature. Bonhoeffer saw it clearly. The system doesn't need you to be evil, it only needs you to be thoughtless. Because when people stop thinking for themselves, they become tools. And once you become a tool, you're no longer human, you're just useful. He was your neighbor, a father, a teacher, a citizen. He didn't hate anyone. He paid his taxes. He believed in law and order, and yet he signed the paper that sent a family to a camp. He watched the trains roll by, and said nothing. This is the horror Bonhoeffer could not unsee, that evil doesn't always come from hatred. It often comes from good people who stop listening to their conscience. He watched it unfold in real time, how an entire nation of ordinary intelligent people fell into collective blindness. They didn't become monsters. They just stopped thinking. They followed orders. They went along. They didn't want trouble. And that's when Bonhoeffer realized, the greatest evil is not done by villains, but by the asleep people, who silence their inner voice for the sake of belonging. People who fear being different more than they fear being wrong. Stupidity, in this form, is terrifying because it doesn't feel dangerous. It feels normal. It smiles. It obeys. It follows trends, not truths. Bonhoeffer wrote from prison. Facts that contradict one's prejudgment simply need not be believed. The fool becomes self-satisfied, and being easily irritated becomes dangerous by going on the attack. You cannot reason with this kind of mind. You cannot awaken someone who has chosen comfort over truth. This is not a past horror. It is present. It is now. Every time we nod along without thinking, every time we silence ourselves to avoid conflict, we become part of the machinery that once shocked the world. But this time, it won't come with uniforms. It will come through apathy, and we will be the ones pressing the buttons with clean hands. So what now? If stupidity can infect even the good, if it hides behind smiles and silence, what hope is there? Bonhoeffer didn't leave us in despair. He believed there was a way back. Not through argument, not through violence, but through something far more radical: awareness. The truly dangerous thing about stupidity is not that it's loud, but that it's unconscious, and the antidote is awakening. To stop, to reflect, to break the trance. Ask yourself, do I really believe what I'm repeating? Do I understand the things I defend? When was the last time I sat alone with silence and let myself think? This is not easy work. It means stepping outside the crowd. It means risking disapproval. It means standing still while the world rushes blindly ahead. But that's the beginning of freedom. Bonhoeffer believed that only inner liberation, the reclaiming of our moral and intellectual autonomy, could defeat the tide of thoughtless obedience. This isn't about being smarter. It's about being braver, because in a world that demands conformity, the mind that dares to ask, to doubt, to see, becomes a threat. You don't need a revolution to change the world. You just need individuals who refuse to live on autopilot. In the end, it wasn't evil that nearly destroyed humanity. It was the silence of the rationale, the complicity of the comfortable, and the blindness of those who chose not to see. Don't be one of them. If you still have the courage to think, don't let it die in silence.